There are moments in history when the weight of crowns feels less like glory and more like destiny's cruel game. The British monarchy, a 1,000-year-old institution, survives not only on pageantry and tradition, but on the fragile balance between heirs and spares. And every generation has shown that when that balance breaks, it is not only families that fracture, it is the crown itself. This is the warning now whispered around Prince William and Princess Catherine, as they raise their three beloved children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Experts, historians, and palace insiders agree, what happened to Andrew and Harry must never happen again. But the question remains, can it be prevented? Or is the curse of the spare written too deeply into the Windsor bloodline to ever escape? The children of destiny. Prince George is 12, a boy already carrying himself with the quiet composure of a king-in-waiting. At his side stands Charlotte, 10 years old, confident, self-possessed, her wave from the Buckingham Palace balcony already iconic. And then Louis, the youngest at just 7, a spark of mischief and innocence, adored by the public for his cheeky gestures and open-hearted charm. To the outside world, they appear a perfect trio, the responsible heir, the graceful sister, the playful youngest. Yet history teaches us that what looks charming in childhood can curdle into resentment in adulthood. The monarchy is not designed for equality, it is designed for hierarchy. One child will inherit the throne. The others will inherit uncertainty. The ghosts of Windsor's past. The curse of the spare is not a modern invention. It has haunted the Windsors for generations. Think of Princess Margaret, younger sister of Queen Elizabeth II. Brilliant, glamorous, rebellious, she lived a life filled with passion, but scarred by frustration. She could never match her sister's destiny, nor escape it. Her romances ended in scandal, her years in the press defined by her bitterness at being forever number 2. Think of Prince Andrew. Once hailed as the Queen's handsome son, a war hero, the rumored favorite child. But without the guiding weight of responsibility, his sense of entitlement grew unchecked. By 2019, in his infamous Newsnight interview, he showed the world not humility but arrogance. His ties to Jeffrey Epstein cemented his fall. Now he lives in disgrace, a warning etched in flesh and blood. Think of Prince Harry. Beloved in his youth, adored for his humor, bravery, and soldier's heart. But as William's star rose, Harry's discontent grew. He became the embodiment of the spare's pain, feeling overlooked, unnecessary, defined by what he was not. By 2020, he and Meghan had fled to California. His book Spare was both confession and indictment, declaring to the world that the role itself had broken him. These three stories, Margaret, Andrew, Harry, stand as flashing warning lights for George's siblings. They prove that being second, third, or fourth in line can become a prison of resentment if not handled with care. The global pattern. This is not just a Windsor curse. Across monarchies, the spare story repeats. In Spain, Infante Don Carlos, younger brother of King Philip II, was imprisoned for conspiracy and died in despair, forever remembered as a tragic cautionary tale. In Russia, Grand Duke Michael Alexandrovich, younger brother of Tsar Nicholas II, was sidelined and eventually executed after years of uncertainty and political limbo. In Denmark, Prince Joachim, younger brother of Crown Prince Frederik, publicly admitted to struggles with being overshadowed, even moving abroad to escape the shadow of succession. The pattern is universal, heirs are trained, molded, and revered. Siblings are left to carve meaning from scraps. Some succeed. Many do not. The winner-takes-all system. Royal experts call it the cruelest rule of monarchy, winner takes all. The throne goes to one. The wealth, prestige, and power concentrate around the heir. The siblings, though born into the same luxury, grow up with less purpose, less clarity, less importance. And human nature abhors insignificance. For some, this results in service, humility, and quiet duty. Prince Edward, the Queen's youngest son, is the shining example. He embraced his supporting role, married Sophie, now one of the most respected royals, and avoided scandal. His stability is a reminder that spares need not fall. But for others, insignificance turns toxic. Andrew turned to arrogance. Harry turned to rebellion. Margaret turned to self-destruction. This is the system William and Catherine must fight against as parents. William and Catherine's approach. Insiders say William and Catherine are painfully aware of the spare curse. They are determined not to let history repeat itself with Charlotte and Louis. George is already being prepared for kingship, speeches, ceremonies, state occasions. But Charlotte and Louis, say sources, are being raised with equal love and a clear sense of value. They are encouraged to pursue individuality. Charlotte's bold confidence and Louis's humor are nurtured rather than suppressed. William and Catherine are making real efforts, one commentator explained. They know that raising a future king is one challenge, but raising siblings who won't grow resentful is perhaps the harder task. But even with love and modern parenting, the monarchy's structure itself is merciless. The world will always see George as the future, Charlotte as the spare, and Louis as the afterthought. The challenge is whether William and Catherine can reframe that narrative, inside the palace and out. The pressure of the present. The problem is magnified by today's fragile public perception of the monarchy. One missed engagement, one awkward photograph, and whispers of dysfunction spread instantly. Critics already question whether William and Catherine work enough, whether the Wales children are overprotected, whether the monarchy can survive the modern world. Into this volatile mix, the spare curse is explosive. If Charlotte or Louis show signs of discontent in the years to come, the media will pounce. Social media will amplify. And the monarchy will once again find itself battling the ghosts of its own system. What the future holds. Imagine the possibilities. Charlotte could grow into a dazzling public figure, admired for her charisma and charm, much like her great-aunt Margaret. But will she face the same frustrations when her brother becomes king and she is sidelined? Louis could remain the darling of the public, loved for his joy. But what happens when his playfulness is no longer charming, but seen as unserious in a world of responsibility? Will he be compared endlessly to George's solemn duty? Unless William and Catherine succeed in redefining what it means to be royal siblings, both could find themselves repeating painful patterns. The high stakes for the monarchy. The stakes extend beyond family drama. If Charlotte and Louis fall into bitterness or scandal, it will not only damage their personal lives, it could shake the monarchy itself. The crown survives on unity, symbolism, and the appearance of harmony. Every feud, every scandal, every spare gone rogue erodes public confidence. In an age where Republican movements grow louder, the House of Windsor cannot afford another Andrew, another Harry, another Margaret. The final question. So the warning is clear. Andrew and Harry are not merely disgraced princes. They are cautionary tales. Living reminders of what happens when spares are neglected, misunderstood, or left without purpose. The challenge for William and Catherine is unprecedented: to break a curse older than themselves, to raise 3 children equally loved, but unequally destined. Can they do it? Can they finally end the cycle of resentment and rebellion that has haunted the monarchy for centuries? Or will George's reign begin with the same cracks that already fractured the House of Windsor twice in a single generation? Royal watchers, the story is still unfolding. But history's shadow is long. And unless it is faced head-on, the curse of the spare may once again write itself into the future of the crown.